Step back into Tennessee of the 1800s, where the streets of Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, and small mountain towns carried the heartbeat of a growing America. Each photograph is a doorway to another time, where voices echo through rivers, railroads, and hills. Welcome to Forgotten Memories, reborn in light.
Steamboats on the Mississippi, Memphis, 1900. Along the Mississippi River levee in 1900, Memphis thrived as a river port. The steamboats James Lee, Harry Lee, and City St. Joseph lined the shore, their smokestacks billowing into the sky. These vessels carried cotton, goods, and people, fueling Memphis's identity as a gateway of Southern trade and culture.
Dyersburg, Main Street, 1900. Captured in 1900, this postcard view of Dyersburg's Main Street reveals a bustling small-town center at the dawn of a new century. Brick storefronts lined the unpaved road, with horse-drawn wagons still common despite the approaching automobile age. The image reflects Tennessee's shift from a rural past to urban aspirations. Junior preparatory class, Fisk University, Nashville, 1899. In 1899, students of the junior preparatory class at Fisk University gathered on the steps of the institution, embodying resilience and progress in post-Reconstruction Tennessee. Established to provide higher education for freedmen and their descendants, Fisk became a beacon of hope where young scholars pursued knowledge against the backdrop of adversity. Coster Machine Shops, Knoxville, 1899. Inside Southern Railway's Coster Yard in Knoxville, steam engines line the erecting pit, while heavy machinery fills the utility track area. This vast machine shop was a hub of Tennessee's rail industry, symbolizing the power and precision that fueled progress at the dawn of the 20th century. Addison Avenue, Fisk University, Nashville, 1899. The view of Addison Avenue looks north toward Fisk University in Nashville. Visible are Jubilee Hall, the Fisk Memorial Chapel, and the Daniel Hand Model School. These landmarks stood as symbols of education, resilience, and hope for generations, shaping Tennessee's cultural and academic history.
Funeral Home of C.W. Franklin, Chattanooga, 1899. In 1899, horses and carriages line up in front of the C.W. Franklin Funeral Home in Chattanooga. This striking scene reflects the essential role of undertakers in the community at the turn of the century. Collected for the American Negro exhibit in Paris, it carries deep cultural and historical significance. Knoxville's first electric streetcars, 1897. These electric streetcars, proudly displayed in 1897, symbolized Knoxville's leap into modern transit. Yet their arrival sparked unrest when workers resisted city orders, igniting the infamous Depot Street riot. What began as optimism turned turbulent, reminding us that even progress carries shadows, shaping the resilience and memory of Knoxville's people. The Great Fire of Knoxville, 1897. On April 8, 1897, Knoxville was devastated by the $1 million fire that swept through Gay Street. In one image, firefighters battled the towering flames consuming entire blocks, while in another, stunned crowds gather at dawn to witness the smoldering ruins. The disaster destroyed businesses, reshaped the city's commercial heart, and left an enduring mark on Knoxville's history as one of its most destructive urban tragedies.
Shipping along the Memphis Levee, 1897. The Mississippi River levee at Memphis bustled with commerce. Goods, including cotton and grain, were stacked high in burlap sacks, ready for shipment. Horse-drawn wagons carried supplies across the busy waterfront, while cranes loaded cargo onto riverboats,
showcasing Memphis's vital role as a hub of Southern trade and transport. Opening of the first S.H. Crescent Company store in Memphis, 1896. On April 18, 1896, Memphis witnessed the grand opening of its first S.H. Crescent Company 5 and 10 cent store. Crowds filled the street, eager to step into this new era of affordable shopping. This single store would later become part of a nationwide chain with over 250 locations. City Hospital, Nashville, 1894. Completed in 1894, Nashville's City Hospital stood as a grand symbol of medical progress and civic pride. Its imposing architecture reflected both ambition and compassion, serving the city's growing population. The hospital became a cornerstone of health and healing, embodying Nashville's transformation into a modern and organized Southern city.
Main Street, Johnson City, 1892. By 1892, Johnson City was transforming into a hub of commerce and growth. This striking brick building on Main Street symbolized ambition and progress, standing tall among simpler storefronts. The bustling street, lined with businesses and wagons, reflects a town quickly outgrowing its frontier roots and stepping into a new era. Briceville Coal Mining Camp, 1891. This 1891 image shows the Briceville Coal Mining Camp in Anderson County, Tennessee, captured during the Coal Creek War. Tents stretch across the valley, sheltering miners and families caught in labor struggles. The scene reflects the harsh realities of industrial conflict, where survival and dignity clashed with power and profit. Street Railway in Nashville, 1891. Captured in 1891, this photo shows one of Nashville's early electric streetcars, crowded with passengers outside a downtown building. The scene reflects a city in transition, where tradition met modernity on its busy streets. Streetcars symbolized progress, connecting neighborhoods and shaping the rhythm of daily life in a growing Tennessee capital. School Gathering in Cannon County, 1891. Taken in Cannon County in January 1891, this rare photograph shows a large group of children and adults assembled outside a modest wooden schoolhouse. Faces stern yet proud, they embody the rural spirit of Tennessee, where community, education, and resilience wove the fabric of daily life at the turn of the century.
Belmont University Tower, 1890. Standing proudly in the late 19th century, the Belmont University Tower rises above manicured gardens and shaded paths in Nashville. Built as a symbol of education and refinement, it became one of the city's most recognizable landmarks. This 1890 view captures the tranquil beauty of the campus and its historic character. First electric streetcar run, Nashville, 1889. In 1889, Nashville celebrated progress with the inaugural run of its first electric streetcar at 16th Avenue and Broad Street. Crowds gathered in excitement as the modern streetcar replaced older horse-drawn systems, marking a new era of transportation. This milestone reflected the city's rapid growth and urban transformation. Wheat Community, Oak Ridge, 1877. This rare 1877 photograph captures the wheat community near Oak Ridge, Tennessee. In the background stands the Wheat School and the white home of George Jones, framed by rolling hills and farmland. A quiet moment frozen in time, it reflects the resilience and simplicity of Appalachian life in the late 19th century.
Knoxville's early landmarks, 1872. This rare 1872 view of Knoxville captures the city's growing skyline. Churches, hotels, and the old roundhouse stand as symbols of a town balancing faith, commerce, and industry. Each handwritten note marks a story: residences, railroads, and gathering places, revealing how Knoxville began weaving its identity into Tennessee's history. Hollowell family in Beersheba Springs, Tennessee,
1870. The Hollowell family gathered in their Beersheba Springs home, illuminated by lamplight. The log walls, modest furnishings, and solemn faces reflect the quiet strength of Appalachian families. This intimate scene captures not just a household, but the endurance of tradition and family unity in Tennessee's mountain communities of the 19th century. Downtown Johnson City, 1870. In 1870, Johnson City was just beginning to emerge as a railroad town in eastern Tennessee. This downtown view shows a modest but bustling corner where horses and carriages lined the streets and shopkeepers stood proudly by their storefronts. The scene captures the humble origins of a city soon to thrive. Main Street, Memphis, 1870. This 1870 view of Main Street in Memphis captures a bustling post-Civil War city. Horse-drawn carriages and well-dressed pedestrians crowd the busy intersection, framed by tall brick buildings and early streetcar tracks. Memphis was rebuilding rapidly, fueled by river trade and cotton commerce, shaping its role as a vital southern hub.
Woodruff Store on Gay Street, Knoxville, 1869. In 1869, Gay Street in Knoxville bustled with merchants, wagons, and hopeful pioneers. Woodruff Store stood as a landmark of commerce, its wooden signs catching the sun above crowded sidewalks. Here, trade thrived, voices mingled, and the city's future whispered through every brick and board. Chattanooga Depot, Nashville, 1865. This 1865 image of the Chattanooga Depot in Nashville captures the pulse of a recovering city after the Civil War. Freight cars, wagons, and modest buildings show a hub of commerce and movement. The depot was more than a station, it was a symbol of Tennessee's resilience and its path to renewal. Rebuilt railroad at Strawberry Plains, 1864. In March 1864, the Strawberry Plains Railroad Ridge and the Flat Creek bridges stood rebuilt after being destroyed during the Civil War when Colonel William P. Sanders withdrew from Knoxville on June 20, 1863. These photographs capture both the elevated track and the sturdy stone supports rising again, symbols of resilience amid destruction. Railroads were lifelines of Tennessee, and their restoration marked survival, determination, and the unbroken will to move forward.
Chattanooga, 1864. Captured during the Civil War era, this 1864 photograph reveals an aerial view of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Nestled between rolling hills, the young city is dotted with wooden structures and dirt roads, poised between destruction and renewal. It was here that battles reshaped both landscapes and lives, marking Chattanooga's pivotal role in history. Photographed around 1864 by Matthew Brady's team, this view captures a wooden bridge spanning the Tennessee River at Chattanooga. Serving both military and civilian needs during the Civil War, the structure reflects the city's role as a vital crossroads. Soldiers, horses, and boats complete the scene of wartime infrastructure and survival. Captured in 1864 by George N. Barnard, this view shows the vast government stables in Chattanooga, a logistical hub during the Civil War. The long-arched structure housed hundreds of horses essential for transport and supply lines. Behind it, rolling hills frame a scene where military necessity met the Tennessee landscape. Photographed in 1864, this image shows the Crutchfield House, once a grand hotel overlooking Chattanooga's rail lines. During the Civil War, its strategic location made it a landmark for soldiers and travelers alike. Though scarred by conflict, the building stood as a symbol of resilience amid turmoil.
Nashville from the Capitol, 1864. Captured by George N. Barnard, this photograph shows Nashville as seen from the state capitol during the Civil War. The cannons in the foreground remind us of the city's strategic role, while the sprawling rooftops in the distance reveal a community enduring conflict, yet standing firm. Tennessee River at Bridgeport, 1864. This view of the Tennessee River at Bridgeport shows a wooden railroad bridge stretching across calm waters. Built during the Civil War, such crossings were vital for troop and supply movements. The fragile structure, set against a vast landscape, symbolizes both the ingenuity and vulnerability of wartime infrastructure. The State House of Tennessee, Nashville, 1864. Standing atop Capitol Hill, the Tennessee State House in Nashville loomed as both a political and military landmark during the Civil War. Captured in 1864, this image shows the Greek Revival structure rising above a war-torn city. It symbolized resilience, governance, and the enduring spirit of a divided nation. The Office of the First Topographical Engineers, Chattanooga, 1863. This modest wooden structure in Chattanooga housed the Office of the First Topographical Engineers during the Civil War in 1863. Within its walls, maps were drawn and strategies shaped, guiding Union troops through Tennessee's rugged terrain. Though humble in appearance, it was a center of precision and military planning.
Supply steamers at Nashville, 1862. In 1862, Nashville's docks bustled with supply steamers lined side by side, their tall smokestacks cutting into the sky. These vessels were lifelines of the Union Army, carrying food, weapons, and men along the Cumberland River. The scene reflects the city's transformation into a vital wartime hub during the Civil War. First known photograph of Knoxville, 1859. Captured from the courthouse roof in 1859, this is Knoxville's earliest known photograph. Looking north, rooftops stretch toward wooded hills, where quiet streets and scattered homes spoke of a town still in its infancy. This rare image preserves a moment when Knoxville's future was only beginning to take shape. Gatlinburg gets its name, 1854. In 1854, the mountain hamlet once called White Oak Flats took on a new name, Gatlinburg. Nestled in the Smoky Mountains, the town grew from a quiet settlement into a vibrant community. Known as a land of paradise, it became a gateway to the beauty and history of East Tennessee.
Market Street, Nashville, 1850. Believed to be the oldest known photograph of Nashville, this 1850 view of Market Street reveals a bustling city at the dawn of its growth. Wagons, storefronts, and dirt roads capture a community alive with commerce and ambition, foreshadowing the transformation that would make Nashville a vital southern crossroads. The Ogle Store, Gatlinburg, 1850. Opened in 1850 by Noah Ogle, Gatlinburg's first recorded merchant, this modest store became the foundation of local commerce. Later evolving into the Riverside Hotel site, it stood as a hub for trade and community life. Its legacy carried forward by generations of the Ogle family, shaping Gatlinburg's early history. Murfreesboro Public Square, 1850. The oldest known photograph of Murfreesboro's public square, taken in 1850, wagons, horses, and townsfolk animate the south side, with storefronts like Hyman & Co. and early groceries marking the scene. This square later witnessed the turbulence of the Civil War, making this image a rare glimpse of its quieter days.
Tennessee's past is not just ink on paper or shadows in old frames. It is breath, struggle, and hope preserved in silver and stone. As you leave these images tonight, carry with you the whispers of a land that shaped dreams, still alive in the silence of history's gaze.